Let's address some of those big issues people are focused on tonight with our Friday night Bream team. They're a dream team, too. Democratic strategist Kevin Walling and RNC national spokesperson Dennard. Great to have you both back with us. Let's start with the president today answering the question of whether the administration could have done something to act sooner on the baby formula situation.
If we'd been better mind readers, I guess we could have. But we moved as quickly as the problem became apparent to us. And we have to move with caution as well as speed, because we got to make sure what we're getting is, in fact, first-rate product. That's why the FDA has to go through the process.
I mean, Paris, I know people are scared, they're frightened, they are worried tonight, but there is the balance that the government has to have with keeping babies safe, making sure these facilities are safe, and somehow finding a way to get this formula out. How does the administration thread that needle?
Well, currently the administration is failing to thread that needle. Tonight, if you are a mother, a parent who is concerned about their child getting formula, you did not take any comfort in any of the answers that were given by this administration, be it from the president or the outgoing press secretary. It is not a clear indication as to when the product is going to be back on the shelves. Children are literally at risk of dying for not having the formula that they need to live. And this administration doesn't seem to be acting quick enough with the Operation Warp Speed type of urgency that the American people, especially those parents, can see that the government is working for them. It seems like the government is working against them.
Yeah, Kevin, very stressful time for millions of people across the country. In the meantime, we're told that there was a whistleblower report possibly back in October to the FDA that the administration knew more broadly in February, and there were headlines in April, a couple of them here warning in the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal about these shortages, rationing on all kinds of things. Are they playing catch up, Kevin?
Yeah, Shannon, well, I've said for a long time we need more accountability when it comes to the FDA. But what you're seeing out of this administration is a whole-of-government approach to tackle this crisis. The president was meeting in the Oval Office with suppliers and providers of formula to kickstart this process. We're importing more FDA-approved formula from Ireland, for example. We're increasing that supply because this is a crisis. My heart breaks for moms and dads out there that are struggling to find that. The president is also making it easier for half of the families that use formula that are on SNAP benefits to increase the buying power that they have at the supermarket, at the CVS, at the Walgreens to get this formula into their babies.
Okay, let's talk about the issue of the Supreme Court, the leaked document we think is still the primary draft that's going on over there. But the protests that have now sprung up against those, there has been a continued growing call for the DOJ to look at the text of a law that we all can read that seems pretty darn understandable at the federal level, banning picketing and parading outside judges' homes for the purpose of influencing them on a decision. Our buddy Andrew McCarthy writes in an op-ed, he says, Biden's contradictory stance is now an unabashed politicization of law enforcement. Pro-Trump protesters must be punished, but pro-abortion protesters have immunity. Indeed, their criminality is to be portrayed as, quote, righteous passion. Paris, a reference there to the word that Jen Psaki used, passion of these protesters.
At the end of the day, this is a dereliction of duty by the Attorney General, by the FBI, by the entire Biden-Harris administration. It is clear to everyone with eyes that reads that law that they are obstructing justice through these protests. It's illegal. They should be fined and or arrested, period. And every day that goes by that they don't do that, it puts these justices of the Supreme Court in harm's way. They need to take it seriously and do what they're supposed to do, because the American people look at this and say this is a double standard. When it comes to those who are on the pro-abortion side, they get a pass. They don't even get a denunciation from the White House. But when it comes to people who are conservative and care about these issues like school board parents, they are labeled domestic terrorists. There's a double standard, and the administration should act on this.
I mean, Kevin, that's a really easy example for conservatives to point to, the fact that parents were tagged potentially as people to watch, investigations into them if they got too rowdy at school boards or spoke up. And now we have a federal law that really is black and white in what it says in the text about these particular demonstrations in this specific situation with judges who are in the midst of deciding a decision. Why shouldn't the DOJ step up and be a little bit more forceful about this?
Well, certainly, I think they should, and it was good to see the Senate unanimously pass legislation that would increase security marshals service for the justices, for their families. Now, I think you referenced Andrew's statement and his remarks, and I don't think there's a comparison to what we saw on January 6th and pro-Trump rioters at the Capitol to what we're seeing play out in these neighborhoods protesting Justices Alito and Kavanaugh. Now, I think those protests should be relegated to the Supreme Court, to the Capitol, peacefully to the White House. That's the time and place to make your voice heard and push back on policies and court decisions, not in people's neighborhoods.
Well, and we have seen Republicans and Democrats now standing up to say, let's not go after people's families and their homes. As you said, Kevin, let's go to their places of business. We all know who live and work and spend time in Washington. There's a protest on the corner every day around here.
It's true.
And the First Amendment is alive and well, and we want to keep that alive and well and going in this country. Gentlemen, thank you both for your time. Good to see you. Have a great weekend.
You too, Shannon.
Thank you so much.